Hello, everybody, and happy holidays. As you can see, we are entering that season, and with Thanksgiving behind us, the holiday preparations are well underway. So I'm going to share with you some of the ups and the downs of holiday times, many of which you're already familiar with or maybe experiencing, and some tips on how to smile more and stress less. Also, how to keep your heart healthy during this time. It turns out that even though we say happy holidays, we look forward to a vacation perhaps, yet on the other hand, 89% of Americans say they feel stressed during the holiday season. And over half of them say they are more stressed than the rest of the year, not less stressed. So let's see what we can do about that. I'm going to share with you a few tips, and then I'd also want to invite you to submit your specific personal holiday challenge that you may be facing that Coach Ziv Soferman, my master coach, and I can address for you in our next episode, because we would like to dive into some short coaching on the topics that you may be having difficulty in the back of your mind, because we'd like to address whatever you are holding in your heart or in the back of your mind that's making you concerned about the holidays coming up, whether it's being alone or it's being with family, which can be wonderful and it also can be challenging. Maybe it's a particular person that you know you're going to run across, and maybe you don't see things the same way, and you want to feel better. You want to feel at ease. You don't want these things to interfere with your enjoyment. So let's get started. First of all, I'll share another kind of medical risk of the holiday season, and it's known in the medical circles as holiday heart syndrome. And this is an imbalance and a disorder of the heart that can happen as a result of a combination of factors that often happen during holidays and vacations. And those are, one, stress, and often overconsumption of alcohol, sugary food, salty food that may push blood pressure up, as well as overly fatty foods and caffeine, all the things people like to indulge in when they're having fun and enjoying, but they can be not so good for the heart. And this condition actually is a condition of irregularity, where the heart loses its regular beating pattern. And what happens then is that a person can feel either like their heart is pounding outside of their chest really hard or fast, or oftentimes people just feel wiped out, low energy. Maybe they sense a little irregularity here, but mostly they just are maybe a little short of breath, and they just feel blah. So it can be very nondescript and dangerous because you don't know that it is dangerous. It can lead to a blood clot in the heart. It can lead to blood clot going to the brain and causing a stroke. It can lead to heart failure or even lead to a heart attack. So I, of course, encourage you to enjoy the holidays with a healthy mindset and a healthy table, and fill your plates with wholesome food and not to overindulge. And also certainly not to overindulge on things like alcohol and salt and things that directly aggravate the heart. And also caffeine. If you're used to a certain amount of caffeine, probably okay, but it's not the time to change your habit and suddenly drink a lot more caffeine on top of everything else. So let's get on to some other fantastic tips that will help soothe the holiday season and hopefully keep your body balanced and your mind feeling calm and settled and not perturbed by whoever those people are that tend to perturb you. All right, so let's get started. Of course, adequate sleep is the foundation of feeling your best. So try the best you can to fit things in during the day and not stay up really late at night. I remember in my family, my mother would get a cold like once a year, and it was always at Christmas because I'm sure she was staying up late wrapping things and doing all those things that can happen at the holidays. And also keep the sugary treats and salty foods down. Don't overstress your body with unhealthy foods. Also, just lower your expectations of yourself and, don't expect everything to be perfect. Try to plan ahead, maybe cut down on some of the things you were planning to do or to host or to go to this and go to that. It's not a time you have to do anything. It's a time really to enjoy and relax. So be mindful that you can just say no to things that you would find more stressful than you really would enjoy, and not to feel burdened or kind of internally pressured that you have to show up for somebody else, unless maybe it's your child and their special performance or something. But do try to balance the things in your life at the holidays so they don't overwhelm you. And it may start with saying no, even in your head, like, okay, I was going to have those 8 people over for dinner or for whatever. And then you say, you know what, maybe not. Maybe I'll just spend the afternoon with my family. And also doing things with your family, like playing games or scheduling events to go to an outing or something, so that not everything is falling on you to entertain people. Get some alone time. Just figure out when you can do your meditation, journal, take a walk, whatever you need to do to stay sane. Some people need more alone time than others, and just recognize that about yourself and know that's going to be key to you being really present and enjoying the company of people the rest of the time. Also, if you find that this is a time of year where you really blow your budget, and in January and February that comes back to bite you, and yet you feel some obligation, this may be a good time where we're still a few weeks from the end of the year and the height of the holiday season to reassess and think how you might be able to give to others without blowing your budget, without expensive gifts that you can't really afford. Think about maybe, baking something or making a meal for somebody, delivering it. They don't have to come to your house. You don't have to clean everything, but just doing something that is thoughtful and shows your caring and your love, but doesn't stress your budget and stress you, therefore. In Ayurvedic medicine, we say that this time of the year, especially in the northern hemisphere where it's winter and cold and dry, that it increases the influence of the body and the functions of the body we call vata. V-A-T-A. Vata means that which governs all of the coordination and the communication in the body and all the flow and all the movement and all of the biorhythms and all of the biological rhythms and their coordination, everything from falling asleep, waking up in the morning, having energy during the day and alertness, and having focus, being calm, having good digestion, free of gas and bloating. Those are all functions of a balanced vata. So that tends to get disturbed at this time of year. And we say in the Ayurvedic terminology that these environmental factors tend to throw the body off balance in a way that's aggravating vata, meaning it's increasing dryness in the body when it's dry outside. We may get dry skin, for example, and irregularity of routine or travel, especially airplane travel, especially across time zones, or just going up in the air and breathing that very dry, just slightly under pressured air aggravates vata. And maybe getting up too early and rushing to the airport and all the bustle and all the worry and trying to keep everything going smoothly, that stress aggravates the vata. It gets our hormones and our nervous system kind of overcharged. So there are remedies for that. And the Ayurvedic angle on that is to try to have as regular routine as you can. And if you do get thrown off, try to get back to your routine. You're going to bed a certain time, getting up a certain time, having your meals on regular schedule. Those all create a lot of stability and ease in the body. So those are some of the tips for balancing vata. Also, favoring warm foods. This is not the time of year to be eating huge salads as a meal. According to Ayurveda, it will be soothing to your system, calming, and also help with dryness to have nice cooked vegetables with plenty of olive oil or your favorite healthy oil on it to lubricate and also provide that extra energy to stay warm in the winter. So those are some tips. And also Ayurveda has a tip for handling those relatives that we may, or friends that we may bump up against that maybe rub us the wrong way, and we want to stay cool. We want to enjoy, and we want our feathers not to get ruffled no matter what they say or do. So I want to share with you a recipe based on a formula that my patients actually told me, some young couple, that when they go to see their in-laws, they always drink this tea because they find that they feel calm throughout the whole weekend and nothing bothers them. So they always drink this tea. So I'm going to give you a homemade version of that. And I'll tell you the recipe here, and then you can go ahead and make up a batch before your friends or relatives arrive. So 1 freshly boiled cup of water, and you pour that over a rose bud, a food grade, ideally organic rose bud, or some dried rose petals that again are food grade or organic. And then you add 1/8 teaspoon of coriander seeds, the whole seed, and 1/8 teaspoon of fennel seeds. And optionally, you put in a teaspoon of food grade rose water. And then you sip that. You can also, by the way, put a pinch of cardamom in there. It makes it quite delicious. Cardamom seeds or a pinch of cardamom powder. And then you just let that sit. Now you notice I didn't say tea leaves. This is like a herbal concoction, but we call it an herbal tea or the rose blend tea. So just that's something that you want to let steep for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And then you can sip that, and you can multiply that recipe by 4 and make a quart of it to keep warm or put in a thermos for the day. So I hope that's helpful, and do write us, click on the link below and submit your personal holiday challenge that you are mulling over maybe in your head or is bothering you in the background. And Master Coach Zeev and I will address it in our next episode. And we really look forward to hearing the details of your challenge and helping you resolve that to the point where you can go through the holidays with like invincible, no, like water off a duck's back if some things happen that normally would be disturbing, and you just find no problem. All right, so nice to talk with you again. Bye for now.